Your Excellency, Chief Minister, honoured guests, just a few moments ago we celebrated the island's liberation from occupation. But we could not leave the day without recognising what has been described by many as the moment that saved the island. The arrival of the SS Vega on December the 30th, 1944. Some of our forebears may not have survived but for the Vega, and some of us may not have been here as a result. Present with us today are representatives from Switzerland, Sweden and Portugal. In addition, Commonwealth countries, including New Zealand and Canada, supported this vital aid which saved islanders on the brink of starvation. We thank them all for this aid during that dark time. But now our Chief Minister, Deputy Lyndon Farnham, will speak as he shares how both the International Red Cross and St John's Ambulance delivered and distributed aid to islanders who were on the brink of starvation. Thank you.
Your Excellency, Mr Bailiff, Lord Soames, honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the liberation of Jersey, many islanders will be taking time to reflect on memories and family stories of the occupation and the experiences of those in our community who endured 5 long years of strict oppression under Nazi rule. On this day, we also pay tribute to honour the extraordinary life-saving role of the SS Vega. This ship, though modest in size, holds enormous significance for us, especially for the many islanders here today whose families lived through the hardship and uncertainty of those occupation years. In fact, among my most treasured possessions is a small silver replica, which is proudly displayed, of the SS Vega, which is proudly displayed in my office. Each time I see it, I am reminded of just how fortunate we are in Jersey to live free from conflict and oppression. But more than that, it stands as a powerful symbol of human compassion and proof of the enduring instinct to help one another, even in the darkest times. In the final and most desperate months of the occupation, Jersey was cut off from the world and from the essential supplies the island needed to survive. Food, medicine, clothing, and fuel had all but vanished. Islanders were facing starvation. But we were not forgotten. The people of the Red Cross acted, that wonderful organisation acted, and the SS Vega became our lifeline. May I just take a moment to point out the international flags flying above us, and each represents a country that played a crucial role in the Vega's vital missions. On my right, the flag of Portugal, from where the vessel set sail. The Swedish flag, as the Vega was a Swedish ship. The Swiss flag, representing the International Red Cross. And the flags of Canada, Australia and New Zealand, whose people supplied the contents of the life-saving parcels. The Vega first arrived in Jersey on the eve of New Year's Eve 1944, carrying Red Cross parcels, some of which were delivered to Guernsey before she reached our shores. There had been fears at that time that German forces might seize the cargo, but fortunately that did not happen. The Vega would return 5 more times, delivering over 450,000 parcels, not just for islanders in Jersey, Guernsey and Sark, but for the slave workers and prisoners of war held across the Channel Islands. It is a chilling and sobering thought to consider how many lives might have been lost without these missions. My own family were among those who received the parcels. They remained in Jersey throughout the occupation. And the memories of those years remained with them and all of their generation for the rest of their lives. They remembered being hungry. They remembered their parents going without so they could eat. For the rest of his days, my father always ate everything on his plate. And that impressed me as a child. I would watch with bewilderment as he ate plate after plate of unappetizing-looking greens. We would have been glad of these in the war, he used to say. And this was because he remembered what it was like to go without. He remembered what it was like to be hungry, and he deplored waste. But he confided in me later in life that it was his way. It was his way of respecting the sacrifices made for him by the many islanders facing extreme hardship towards the end of the occupation. When the SS Vega docked in St Helier again during liberation in 1945, the people of Jersey expressed their deep gratitude. A silver-plated milk can was presented to her captain, and a speech of thanks was made by the bailiff, Sir Alexander Kutosh. Today, a stone memorial stands at the Albert Pier, close to where the Vega once docked. She has been immortalised in photographs, in art, and in a scale model displayed just opposite in the foyer within the States building. This small ship occupies a very special place in Jersey's collective heart, as does St John Ambulance, who worked tirelessly alongside the Red Cross to distribute the aid across the island again and again at that time. And today we are honoured to be joined by islanders who received those vital parcels, and their experiences are being passed down to their children and grandchildren and our great-grandchildren, ensuring that future generations of islanders never forget, that future generations of islanders understand what it means to go without and what it means to be saved by the compassion of others. So let us once again offer our deepest thanks to all of those who come to our aid and pay lasting tribute to this extraordinary little ship and the act of humanity she came to represent. Thank you.
I was about 3 years old when the occupation it started. My very first memory is sitting in an air raid shelter that my father had built at the bottom of our garden. I don't think it was very substantial because I'm pretty sure firework would have destroyed it. My father used to go down to pick up the parcels. I can't remember how he did it because there were 4 parcels to come back. I think he went down on his bike and probably tied them together and pushed the bike back home. But lots of people used to go down with a little cart or a pram and pick up their parcels. First thing you look for was chocolate. And it was great to have bits and pieces, tinned fruit and such like. During the occupation, of course, I didn't know what an orange was or banana was. Apples, yes, we used to get apples, but that was the only fruit we really had. And gradually, over the years, those 5 years, I grew up with Germans all around me. I think in remembering liberation perhaps would juggle people's minds and say, goodness sake, must this go on? Surely we must stop. Surely we must have some peace. And I feel for these people in the Ukraine and other parts where these conflicts are going on. But I think it's good to reflect. I think hate has gone. I mean, after the war, people hated Germans, good or bad, but now it's all different. I mean, England's got a German football manager, so perhaps things are looking up.
something of their very own, reaching hands with nothing to hold on to, but hope for a better day, a better day. Pray Jesus, help me to feel the sun again in my own land. But if unknown roads lead away from home, give me loving arms, away from harm. The voice of the children, softly pleading, the silence in their shattered world, and bringing guns, preach a gospel full of hate, blood of the innocent on their hands. Cry, Jesus, help me to feel the sun again upon my face. For when darkness clears, I know you're near, bringing peace again. Holy, truly stay the ancient bodies back, and you hear the prayer of the
It is a great honour to address you today on this 80th anniversary of Jersey's liberation. This is our opportunity as islanders to come together in remembrance, reflection and celebration. We remember the courage of those who endured 5 long years of occupation. We honour the men and women who stood firm in the face of oppression. And we celebrate the restoration of freedoms that too many in the world still live without. It is often said that people fail to learn the lessons of the past, which is why now, more than ever, each nation has a duty to remember its own history with clarity and compassion. As we mark this day, I ask you then to reflect not only on what our island was liberated from, but what we must now, as a community, stand for. Like many islanders, I've heard the story of the occupation from my family, who endured its years of starvation and hardship. These were islanders who hid livestock from occupying forces and shared soup with Russian slave workers who battled against tyranny every day. After D-Day, as supply chains broke down and basic supplies ran out, people in Jersey had literally begun to starve. The life-saving supplies were brought in by the Red Cross, donated by the people of Canada and New Zealand. They were a lifeline, And it's not an exaggeration to say that without them, many of us would not be here today. The docking of the Vega, the compassion and humanity afforded to us by countries thousands of miles away, had shaped our identity. It is the bedrock for how subsequent generations of islanders view the world and our role in it. And so, while we remember our own salvation, let us reflect on the millions across the world who still await theirs. The ravages of war may no longer be plaguing our own shores, but they have not disappeared from the world. Alas, others now face what we once endured. Surely then, just as Jersey once relied on the kindness of strangers, we too must extend that same generosity of spirit to those who need it today. We must remember that liberation means freedom, and freedom is not something we can ever take for granted. As Minister for International Development, I'm immensely proud to see how Jersey continues to rise to that call, bringing some of this freedom, this liberation from poverty and squalor and injustice to hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Our professional aid program saves lives, strengthens our global reputation, and builds lasting international ties, which are critical to our future prosperity and standing in an increasingly uncertain world. This is not charity, it is our moral responsibility. As one of the only places on British soil to have received humanitarian aid, we must never forget the relief and the jubilation brought to islanders on the 9th of May 1945. Yet Liberation Day is more than ceremony and celebration. It is more than flag waving and music. It is the lived experience of freedom and the duty to defend it, to extend it, and to make it meaningful to future generations. Let us teach our children not only that Jersey was liberated, but why that matters. Let us show them that the values we hold dear, freedom, justice, and compassion, are not relics of history, but the responsibilities we inherit. So on this day of remembrance, as the voices of those who lived through liberation grow fewer, let us not only look back with gratitude and respect, let us look forward with purpose and pride. Let us honour our past by shaping a future where Jersey is not only free, but a voice for freedom in the world. I'd now like to introduce David Peppiatt from the British Red Cross.
It is a great honour to stand before you today as a representative of the Red Cross and to pay tribute to the deep friendship and lasting ties between the Red Cross and the people of Jersey. We've remembered today how the Red Cross, through the voyages of the infamous SS Vega, was a beacon of hope for countless individuals in Jersey during the Second World War. The food parcels carried by the Vega, which numbered almost 500,000 in her 6 voyages, alongside consignments of medical and surgical supplies, tons of soap, salt and sugars, bundles of clothing and other vital items, such as 96,000 cigarettes, brought humanitarian relief to people in need. It was a colossal relief operation requiring international agreement, challenging and risky logistics, and involving global coordination of aid supplies from different countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand and Portugal. The moving accounts of those who took part in this historic Red Cross operation, both the providers and the recipients of aid, testify to the extraordinary commitment to alleviate human suffering and bring hope to the people of Jersey. This humanitarian operation 80 years ago marked the beginning of a special bond between Jersey and the Red Cross, and one that has endured over the decades and remains underpinned by our shared values of humanity, compassion and kindness. In preparing for this event today, I've been looking at the British Red Cross archives, and I discovered after the voyage, Vega's first voyage, a Red Cross fund was opened in Jersey. And by October 1945, it had reached the staggering sum of £125,000. A letter from the islanders accompanying the cheque to the British Red Cross explained they wished to show their underlying gratitude to the Red Cross and Empire Red Cross societies for the great and timely aid they had recovered from them. What an extraordinary act of generosity at a time of great hardship, I thought. 80 years on, and Jersey continues to support the Red Cross in alleviating suffering around the world. Through the long-standing partnership with Jersey Overseas Aid, you have helped reach hundreds of thousands of people in many crises around the world, enabling the Red Cross to bring life-saving assistance, providing vital health services, and strengthening the resilience of vulnerable people who face the threat of disasters. Your support to the Red Cross Disaster Fund enables us to respond rapidly to disasters and mobilise much-needed resources, particularly in forgotten and neglected crises, those out of the media spotlight, or those simply politically too challenging for governments to respond to. From Gaza to Ukraine, from Chad to Yemen, and from Sudan to Myanmar, your support ensures we can provide timely and ongoing humanitarian assistance to help people recover and rebuild their lives. While the context and crises of today may differ greatly from the humanitarian operation of the SS Vega in 1944, the principles remain the same: humanity, impartiality, and neutrality, showing compassion and kindness to people in their time of need, whoever and wherever they are. So today I would ask we celebrate not only the historic liberation of Jersey and the role played by the Red Cross, but also the kindness and generosity of the people of Jersey. I have seen firsthand how your support has a profound impact on the lives of many, and for that the Red Cross is truly grateful. As we look to the future in an uncertain and fractured world, we must keep the humanitarian mission of the SS Vega, a world where there is a beacon of hope and a relief of suffering for people in need. Thank you.
A final prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for all those who provide humanitarian support in places of conflict and where human suffering occurs. We thank you now for those who brought relief to this island at its time of need through the work of the Red Cross and the SS Vega. And we thank you that in response, we too are able as an island to help others in need across the world today through the Overseas Aid and through the generosity of islands. Make us always mindful of the needs of the world and ready to respond. And now may the Lord bless us and watch over us. The Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious to us. The Lord look kindly on us and give us peace. Amen.